Hello, it's finally time to talk about timers in ALP. There are 5 of them, and to understand the first 3, we'll work with the device in the online debugging menu. We have talked about how to turn it on and what to look at in previous videos. Using as an example, we will discuss the T-on, T-off and TP timers. As you can see in this diagram, the programmable outputs are connected to the inputs through timers. Let's understand them one by one. The circuit of the first input and the first output work with the T-on timer. This is a timer with a delay on activation. In its properties, I set the duration of this delay to 3 seconds. So if I turn on the first input, the output will not activate immediately, but only after 3 seconds. But they turn off simultaneously. Meanwhile, if I turn the input on and off without waiting for the output to activate, the output will not turn on. The next time the delay countdown will start from the beginning. The T-off timer is a timer with delay on deactivation. I set the delay duration in the settings the same as in the first case, 3 seconds. How it works: if I turn on the input, the output turns on immediately, but turns off with a delay relative to turning off the input at a specific time. In my case, it's 3 seconds. Just like in the first case, if I manage to turn on the input before the timer counts 3 seconds of delay, the output will not turn off, and the next time the delay countdown will start from 0. TP is a pulse timer, the essence of which is to generate a pulse of a specific duration. In my case, I specified a pulse length of 5 seconds in the settings. Press the button, the output turns on, works for 5 seconds, and turns off without additional commands. Meanwhile, during the generation of this signal, the timer does not react to button presses. When I start it, it will work for exactly the specified time and turn off by itself. This timer is mainly used to start some actuating mechanism for unknown period of time. For example, to start a pump for 15 seconds on a certain command. It's also worth noting T-on and T-off timers require long duration signals, but to start the TP timer, a short pulse is enough. Therefore, edge detectors are often used in conjunction with them, which we will talk about in next video. But at the beginning I said there are 5 timers. The remaining 2, clock and clock W, these are so-called interval timers, and they allow you to work with the internal time clocks of mini PLCs. In their settings, you can set the date and time of output activation, as well as the date and time of its deactivation. If you set these parameters in full, from months to seconds, you get a timer that works annually. Thus, you can implement the choice of summer and winter coefficients, for example, by adding a selector to the timer output. And at the same time, you can also play with the settings and, for example, disable the use of months and days. In this case, you get a timer that triggers daily, and thus you can choose, for example, day and night settings in heating system. For the clock W timer, you can also set the so-called weekday mask. Then, in addition to the date and time of input and output activation, you will still indicate on which days of the week the timer works and on which it does not. Thus, you can make a timer that works only on weekdays or only on weekends. That's how we covered the topic of timers. Please don't forget that we are very pleased when you leave comments under our videos. Your questions will help us to improve our materials. Subscribe to our channel and follow the updates. Bye.